In this video, I'm going to show you how to solo over Tuesday's Gone by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Now this is an awesome tune in the key of A, and I did already post a lesson breaking down the rhythm, but in this video we're going to dive into the scales that are used, the theory behind soloing, and of course I'm going to show you one of the solos note for note and break it down. So let's get straight into it. The progression that we're playing over starts out on an A, and it just goes A, E, F sharp minor, D. Then it goes again, A, E, and then D. The little arpeggio picking there at the end. So all of those chords are in the key of A major. We've got A, which is the 1 chord, E, which is the 5 chord, F sharp minor is the 6 or relative minor, and then D is the 4 chord. So we've got a 1, a 4, a 5, and a 6. So all of those chords fit within the key of A, so what that means is you can play one scale over all of those chords and basically make that as sort of like a base level to start. So the scale that I would choose would be the A major pentatonic to start with. So if I think about my A chord here, and I use something called the cage system. So I see like chord shapes on the neck, and then I know where those scales are. All right, now that we know the key and then a scale that we can start with, let's check out an example of a solo, and this comes later in the song. This is actually the 3rd guitar solo in the song. Here's what it sounds like. All right, so that begins on a pickup with this quick bend here. We're playing the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And it's sort of a pre-bend, so you bend it up before you pluck it, let it down, and then push it back up. And then play the note A here on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So it's just a quick little move there with your hand. You're not actually changing frets, but because you can bend up and then release down, you can get a lot of different notes without moving frets. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 1. Okay, so it's a pickup. Again, we're in a 6/8 time signature for this song. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 1. And then that is your downbeat there on the note A, and the band's on A. So he's just hitting the root note there. Then, all right, so that's an example of a lot of bending going up and down, right? So we've got the 4th fret here, bend it up, release it down, bend it up, release it down, and then play the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and that's the note E. Okay, so the first 2 licks, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then more bending. Okay, so that's all on the 4th fret there of the 3rd string. So bend up, and then natural. And then F sharp, okay? So something that's going on here, we do the bend, and then we hit the A note. Then we do another bend, then we hit the E note. Then we do another bend, then we hit the F sharp note. Now, those notes that are coming after the bends are just the root notes of the chords. Remember, A, da, 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 da. It's literally following the chord changes. So Hear it? And then we go. Okay, and this is the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, then a double pull off. That's 4 2 0 on the 4th string. And what note is that? Open 4th string would be D, and what chord is next? The band's on D. So all of this is really following the chord changes, and you could hear it in the solo. So okay, this next part is really cool. It's a walk up that's using the major pentatonic, the A major pentatonic, or the F sharp minor pentatonic. They're both the same scale. Okay, so this is hammering from 2 to 4 on the 5th string. Then the reverse of that, 4 to 2 as a pull off on the next string down. So it's hammer, pull off, and then bending 4 again, natural, and then the 2nd fret. So, and I just roll my finger over. So I do the hammer, then I roll it over to the next string. That's a good technique to work on. It's not a bar like this, but it's a roll where the notes are actually disconnected, but it almost visually looks like a bar. I'm just using my index and my ring finger. And again, there is your scale. So one thing, if you're not familiar with playing the blues scale up and down the neck like this, I want to give you a guide that's really going to help you out with it. And what it is my blues scale PDF guide. It shows you the 5 patterns that I use to map out the entire neck. You can get it completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/bluescales. That's going to tie right in with what we're doing here, because when we're playing licks like this, I mean, that's actually a blues lick, but you don't necessarily think of Tuesday's Gone as like a blues song, but that sort of vocabulary and that soloing goes great over this type of progression, of course, this style. So walking back up, then we go. Okay, now we're gonna start moving out of this position. So far, the whole solo has taken place in this 2nd position. So after we climb up, 2, then we play 4, and then we do a little pre-bend, release it down, pull off to 2, then play 4, slide up to 6, and then 4. Okay, so. Okay, now we've shifted up, and then. Okay, now we make a big slide. We slide from 6 up to 11 on the 3rd string, then 9 on the 3rd string, 10 on the 2nd string. And what we did is we left this 2nd position. This is like a G shape here from Cage, and then this is a C shape from Cage. So look at this. Adding in the chord right to the solo, because that's what I think about. I think about just outlining the chord, and that's what a lot of the best players that I've worked with and run into, they think about it the same way. They're sort of visualizing these chords on the neck. So okay, and then a bend here way high. I love that sound. It's basically the 12th fret going up on the 1st string, bend a whole step, and then you pluck it and release it back down. It almost sounds just like you're making the guitar cry, you know? So the 2nd part after this walk up, take it up, all right, let's try and put this entire solo together. I'll first play it without accompaniment, just so you can hear just the licks, and then we'll bring in that rhythm guitar, and you can hear what it sounds like with the chords underneath. Now remember, we're gonna start on beat 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here it is again with the rhythm, and I'll just start by tying in the rhythm part from the previous lesson. Here we go. And that is how you do it using the A pentatonic scale and the blues scale. You know, so many times I hear players say, oh, you know, they're just that boring old pentatonic, that boring old blues scale. This is the stuff that's on the greatest records of all time. And when you play it this way, it's not boring. It's just how you do it. It's the approach that you take. Again, thinking about the chord changes, outlining the chords, using motifs, using bends, using slides, all kinds of cool techniques to embellish the notes and make it sound like a melody and make it sound like music. So I hope this helped you out. Again, to work out these scales, grab my free blues scale PDF guide. It's going to show you the easiest way to get doing this anywhere on the neck. Just go to johnmclennan.com/bluescales or click the first link down below. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and for more Lynyrd Skynyrd, check out this video next.